What is going on, Internet? Eric Van Holt's back again with another amazing live stream for you guys. I hope all is going well on the other side of the Internet. Feeling a little lonely here today. Feeling a little lonely. If you don't notice, there is no Carlos. Carlos is passed on. He lived a good life, and I'm glad that I called him a friend. But in all seriousness, if you tuned into last week's live stream, you may have noticed that Carlos had a cast on his hand. He is now at the doctor, potentially getting it and getting surgery on it or something like that, getting it locked into place. Maybe, maybe not. It sounds like it's quite a mess over in the UK when it comes to giving him information on healthcare. So no Carlos with us, unless he does the same thing that I did last week and does a little surprise visit on us. So excited to see you guys in here. You may notice the wallpaper. Mark's knocked me out real quick so you guys can see the wallpaper. There we go. It is a French revolutionarist. And it's kind of like the inspiration for the topic of this week, which is around freedom, specifically the news around the Telegram founder, Pavel Durov. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but him getting arrested in France and losing his freedom, and kind of like what freedom means for you guys, for me, and maybe some tactics of how to get more freedom and stuff. If you guys are new to the live stream, we've done about 5 of these in the past. We have a pretty simple format. The introduction, shoot. Then we'll watch some viral videos. I've got a little quiz for you guys. And then we'll get into some Beardbrand news, followed up by our topic of the week, which is going to be freedom. And then we're going to wrap it up with Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end of the day. So we're gonna go on here. Just looking at that's fake stage. All right, so I'm excited to be with you guys. Mark, shall we get into just get into the viral videos? What do you think? Shall we do it? I don't know. Pull up the first one. And my light is like flickering a little bit. All right, we got some beard care here. All right, so he's got a pretty gnarly beard. Looks like he's putting some crimping in it, putting some waves in it. That's kind of how my beard looks naturally, but without that. But that's a mega beard, man. Like, that's quite impressive to be able to grow that beard that thick for that long. Major props to him. That's a lot of work, and he obviously knows a thing or two about growing a pretty good beard. All right, next one. I will never grow my beard that long because I don't think my beard can actually get that long. So, all right, we got a wet in here. Mark, I don't know what you got me watching wedding videos. Is this about like losing your freedom when you get hitched and you tie the knot? I'm not a big believer in over the top weddings. I think it's a little bit too much to have that rainbow powder get exploded. Too curated. I don't know. I feel like Maybe like a love wedding or something is going to be a little more subdued rather than putting on a show. Like the point of the wedding to me is not about putting on a show. The point of the wedding is about bringing together two families and creating an environment that allows them to connect and resonate and build unity between the two families. So that was kind of a weird video. Not the type of videos I normally watch. So I guess Mark's has got like some new stuff coming my way. Eric says weddings are about the bridesmaids. All right, so we go from falling in love to the opposite. We got some UFC stuff here. All right, let's see it.
Oh, Camille's in real trouble. Oh my goodness, you're close to trying to close the show. Oh.
Crowd senses something could climactically happen here.
Oh, Camille hurt him. Camille hurt him. Oh, hurt. Oh, he's got him crazy.
That's right there. That's like the classic Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan meme. I think like you know, it's like a good lesson where the dude in the blue shorts. I'm not a UCF guy or UFC guy, and so I don't know who these guys are. But the guy in the blue clearly looked like he was about to be brought down to the floor, but found a way to literally keep on fighting and turn that sucker around. So, yeah, that I think there's a lesson in there about not giving up. And it's, of course, it's cliche to say. It's easy to say. I think the hard part is fighting when every indication is telling you to stop and to give up. Where, despite that, you persevere. And I think there's very few people, myself included, who. Well, wait, hold on. There are very few people who can do that. Oh, look who it is!
Yeah,
You made it.
I made it. I know. Yeah, traffic wasn't so bad, so I made it.
Nice. Good. This
God,
is good. I was just thinking about how hard this was going to be.
Well, I just I'm out of breath, man. I just ran up the stairs. Computer.
Welcome, Carlos. How's your arm?
Yeah, good. I don't know. Just come from the hospital.
You got a cat? Oh, different one.
I got a new collar plaster or cast, whatever you want to call it. So it's bad, but it's not crazy bad. So no operation for now. I have to go back Tuesday afternoon for another X-ray, and that's where the decision is made if I operate or not. But the doctor kind of said, I think next week it can be your decision instead of mine if you want to operate or not. It looks like he's healing fine, but I can't remember the name of the bone. But the bigger bone. I have the small bone is broken, but they don't want to touch that. But the bigger bone, it's like proper broken, like there, and then it's got a splint down the middle. So it's bad, but it's not that crazy. Anyway, we'll see what happens next week. I don't want to operate, to be honest, because
I mean, like I would be there with you, Adam. I wouldn't want to go under.
Yeah.
I feel like your recovery will be even longer.
That's it. I'm already 10 days in, so he said another 3 weeks probably can get the cast out, and I'm like, if I operate, then it's another 6 weeks or 4 weeks, and I'm like, nah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, is my decision. I'm gonna say no. I'll just go with it. I can always operate later in life if it's bad. Anyway, freedom.
we were watching some viral videos and reacting to it was kind of weird. One of them was a wedding one. I don't know if you saw that one. It went from a wedding one and then to like a fight one, and we had a beard grooming one at the beginning. So we've had a full assortment of viral videos.
I'm sorry I missed that. Yeah, I have no comment because I didn't see anything.
All right.
I hope it was fine.
Let's get the next one going in here.
Oh, there's more.
He said he's got 8 of them. So
Go on.
One of my favorite quotes till this day. God will put you back together in front of those who broke you.
Did he say God?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I have a quiz, and well, I don't want to spoil it, so but I think that it's I don't want to get too much into like religious conversations at all, because
Yeah,
I personally feel like religion is a personal thing, but I
exactly.
also know it's a something that everyone who you should be passionate about your spiritual beliefs. I believe that strongly, and
Yeah, you're right. I was just gonna say it's your belief. Like, if your belief will put you together. It's just you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And that might be through whatever God of your choice or spiritual, whatever that might be. Yeah, you nailed it there. That's what I wanted to say.
All right, let's see here. What we got going on? Oh, Brzezinski's in here.
Lawyer's reaction.
Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. I don't even see the comments.
Grab her? What are you talking about? Come on. Aren't you a good citizen? What do you mean?
Is this man guilty for not assisting the police officer running in slow motion?
I kind of missed the first part because you said that, and I was trying to flick through from the private chat to the comments. But so I kind of missed the first part, but that was hilarious. The last bit.
Carlos, you ever run from the cops?
Yes, I have shoplifting in London, and yeah, I had to run from the cops.
Did you get away?
Nothing great. Yeah, I got away. I don't think they really care that much, to be honest, because they could have got me. I also I've hid from the cops. Didn't really run away, but I hid behind this bush for quite a long time, and they were just circling around for forever, man. And I was just there, and I was like, I had just been to see a dealer, so I was like my first hit, and I had that in my hand, and these guys wouldn't leave, so I was like really struggling in this bush forever. I don't know how long I was there. It felt like eternity. It might have been even 10 minutes, but in that state of mind, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun to look back, to be honest.
I hid from cops. Like when we were kids, it was more when I was a kid in high school and just doing stupid things. Like we had a friend that worked at a yogurt shop, and we were just like messing with her by opening and closing the back door, which like turn on the little beeping noise, and then sure enough, with our luck, like some cops were getting yogurt through the drive-through, and then she like narked on us and said there's something weird going on, and then
oh no,
we got put in the back of the cop car. I don't know what crime we committed, but I don't think we committed a crime. We didn't get arrested or anything like that. But I've never like properly, I've never properly run from cops because I don't have a tendency to
break
get
the law.
myself in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have broken the law quite a few times. So yeah, unfortunately. I mean, different times now, but in the past, I mean, I suppose.
Yeah. What do we got next?
Naughty.
You're not naughty anymore, though, man. You got it all out of your system.
No.
Carlos is broke right now.
Have you ever been broke before?
I said,
Have you ever been broke before?
as a joke. Bro, you kidding me? This guy right here, I slept in my car at one point in my life. No, didn't have money at all. I mean, literally, it was just that nasty. I came from a very humble beginning as a kid growing up in Africa. That passed away when I was 7 years old. 3 meals a day was a struggle. Holes in my shoes as a kid, I remember like yesterday. Broke as hell. But what I want to tell you is this: being broke is a temporary condition. It really is.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Lord have mercy. Close to 2 mil.
$2 million.
Yes.
Are you a buyer or a seller?
That's a good one. I sell all day. So, okay, watch this. Are you ready? There are 2 types of people against society: consumers and what? Producers. Consumer consume, producers produce. Who makes the most money?
Producers.
The producers. You follow me so far on this?
Yeah.
3 things. My mentor tells me this, and it stays. Number 1, fall in love with people. Number 2, fall in love with sales. Number 3, fall in love with numbers. You do those 3 things, nobody's going to recognize. You're going to go back and watch this tape a few years from now, like, damn.
What's the best advice that you would tell the younger generation today?
Make speed work to your favor, because you're young, but you're not forever young. You don't procrastinate anymore, because procrastination is the assassination of all destination. You do not procrastinate. And we're just talking about how there are 2 types of people, right? Givers and takers, right? And I say, listen, life take from takers and give to givers, and keep very accurate accounting. You can't cheat it.
A startup has taken.
Have you ever
That's
been
awesome.
Dude, I could listen to that guy talk all day long. He's like definitely preaching my vibes. Like everything he's saying. Like I didn't have like a single disagreement. I'm like I don't know if that guy's on YouTube or what he does or what he sells, but like sales, I was talking with you.
It was me,
About,
yeah. It was me.
yeah, I
About
was
my
talking with you
daughter.
about
My
your
daughter. Yeah.
and I'm like, just get her in sales, like get her like moving something, like because there's just, and I think he said something that I haven't thought about before is just like fall in love with people, and I think that's a really important lesson as well. It's just like you have to think of your fellow man as good, inherently good, and that you love them and you want to serve them and help them. And I don't really think of it as like givers and takers. I think more of like those who build, those who create, and then those who take. I guess I do think of it
Givers
as
and
takers.
takers.
but less givers, more builders, like people who are creating and building, and you know, like
Yeah.
And you can create in so many different ways. Like you can create. I think like if you fall into this space, there's this trap that everyone has to become an entrepreneur, and I think that's a false choice. I think you can build alongside other people who are building. But I do think it's important to build very much, build and create. So because of what we'll be talking about today, developing freedom.
But the only thing I didn't really like about it was he said fall in love with numbers.
You don't like numbers? I love numbers.
Really, no.
Dude, I love numbers.
I hate anything to do with numbers, man.
I want to
When you
change
chase numbers, go on.
I want to change my background because this is flickering and it's messing with my mind.
Messing with my mind. Are you sure it's the flickering? What you been doing for the day?
Hey, you tell me. I'm going to move it slowly, and then you tell me to stop, and we'll get the color that the people want.
I think green is fine. No, the green I think was the other green was better. To be honest, your image is very poor, man. You have to invest in better equipment. That blue, the first blue didn't look bad. Come on, guys. What do you want?
That was the full cycle of colors, and no one's giving any kind of green with purple. They're complementary. Okay.
Yeah, I saw the green looked good. There was one.
The green looked good?
The first green. Yeah, the first green looked good. No one else cares about your background, man.
Okay, this number is
Right.
that number is 69. So it's a good place to stop. Let's see if I keep on flickering.
Hold on, my wife is messaging me saying I need to get in the bedroom. I'm just gonna say, come in. It's not like she can't come in.
Yeah, you know, our live streams are a little informal. You know, I feel like that's a little bit more my vibe.
Oh man, today is definitely very informal.
This is weird.
I'm still sweating from running up the stairs early. I
Yeah,
think I need to open some windows in here.
I got a little bit of pitting too. Our deodorant prototypes are coming tomorrow.
Nice.
But shall we do one more? Let's do one more viral video and then we'll move on. There she is. Hi, Jenna.
Hi, Jenna, he said. She can't hear.
Well, I figured as
Yeah,
much. You got your headphones on.
See ya.
No,
Right.
beard style, nothing but neck.
Oh man, the best one was the girl.
I you
I
know
mean,
the thing is like a lot of people shit on neck beards. We've done an article on neck beards, but if you're ever like, I think it does a disservice to shit on neck beards because this is where the majority of your mass of your beard comes from. So like if you're growing a beard out, you want to do this, and then a lot of guys get concerned with it, so they end up trimming too high towards their chin, and then, in my opinion, destroying the look of the beard. So the neck is actually only this part. So most of it was like a neck and chin beard, lower chin beard. But
yeah.
that's my.
I mean, to be honest, he didn't look that bad. I thought it was going to look really bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't look that bad, actually. He didn't
I
look
mean,
that bad.
like-
Danish guy looked way worse to me than that guy.
Well, I mean, it goes to show like being attractive, you can get away with it. Like if you did the same thing, you'd look good.
I'm not quite sure about that, but
I mean,
okay.
your neck tattoos are kind of like
But
beard.
I do agree with you. And if you really let all of this grow full, you definitely have a nicer, denser beard. Even if you don't, it just makes it look way fuller all the time. That's why when I grow my beard back, I always start with the mustache. On my mustache, I always grow it first and then let the rest of the beard catch up. So I always start with a beard stash, for example. And I think maybe doing the same here, just let these grow more and more and more to thicken up. It makes the beard look full. So I think in about 3 months' time, this will be thick as hell. If I persevere, because I might change my mind.
Yeah, well, that's the hard part. Like I don't know if you saw the video I recorded in the edit that we did yet of me trimming this beard. For those who tuned in last week and this week, I have trimmed my beard in between those two times, and I created a video on it. And really, like before I hit record, I'm like, do I want to go low and do like a beard stash again, or do I want to grow my beard out and take it long? Take it like, I don't know, like last time I grew it out was 2019. It's been about 5 years since I've had a long beard. Like, do I want to go long again? See how that goes?
I mean, the beard you have right now for me is quite long.
Yeah. I mean, it's longer than a normal.
I think the last time I had it was about the size you got now, maybe about 4 years ago. I think I've gone longer than what you got now in a while.
So you're going to do that? You're going to get to this link?
I just let it. At the moment, I can't even. I trimmed my neck this morning, to do those Amazon videos, and because it was looking really rough, and I was like, with my left hand, I was like, oh, this is a disaster. I don't think it's straight, to be honest.
It looks good.
But yeah, it was a
You
challenge.
I mean,
and
your
I
neck
did.
tattoos like allow you to be quite forgivable with how things look, so you can get away with a lot.
Okay,
Greg's
okay,
growing his
good.
beard out. That's why I said, like in the video, I said winter's coming. You know, like it's time to
But
grow the beard
talking
out.
about freedom, Greg's got no choice. He's got no freedom on that. He has to grow his out now because Christmas is coming, right?
Christmas is coming. He's like a
Yeah,
reality TV star potentially.
he does the Santa's thing.
Yeah,
So he needs
yeah,
to
but
he needs
the
to grow
handsome
his beard.
Santa.
Hmm.
You ready for your quiz?
I mean, I'm not really ready because I wasn't planning to be on the stream, but I
You don't have a question for me?
I kind of have a question for you.
Okay.
So I would say it's probably not listicle, but give me your 5 key aspects of personal freedom. Yours.
Wait, you're
I'm
asking
not
me?
even asking you in general. Yes.
Give you my 5
Key
key
aspects
aspects
of personal freedom.
personal
Or
freedom.
yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, do you want an example?
Sure.
You want all right. Like freedom of speech, for example. That's
Okay.
one.
Well,
That's one
well,
of
my
my
question's the same thing. You're taking my question. We have the same one.
like, well, yeah, I didn't have time, man. I just got here and I was like, let me find the fucking question.
But mine are only 4. I only could come up with 4. So I don't even know how you came up
Okay.
with 5. But I guess we'll both
You say one,
we'll both ask
I'll
the same.
I just
Okay,
yeah,
all
I
right.
just told you one. I said freedom
Okay.
of speech, so you tell me
Okay.
yours.
So my freedom of speech was mental freedom. So the ability to think and speak freely.
Okay,
Which
that's a very good
so
one.
but my first one is physical freedom. So like the ability to not be constrained, to move around at your own choosing, to not be imprisoned or kidnapped, and then most importantly to be in good health. And to have a
Yeah,
body
like
that allows you to.
broken.
Yeah, you don't want to be
Yes.
broken.
Well, no joke, because there are people in worse situations, right? There's people that don't have both arms, or or that can't even move like this.
Oh yeah.
So there's people, but I tell you what, man, I'm right-handed, and having to do everything with my left hand, it's been a challenge. It's like to have to learn to use your left hand when it's been a challenge. It's been also good because I've been practicing, but man, there are some things I'm like today filming, for example, was such a struggle because I had the camera pointing at me and I was with my little watch, well, this watch, checking if I was in the right, like, on my mark. But every time I pointed something at the camera, it was off. And I was like, fuck, it's on. It's like good. And then it kept going off. And every time I tried to twist it to the right position, I was going the wrong way. It's just like so
Yeah.
different when I do it with my right hand. I always know what it is. It's crazy. It's just those little things, man. So that was a challenge. So yeah. Right. Anyway, so you said 2 straight away.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So you did what I would call mental freedom,
So I have that freedom of thought
and then I got the
freedom of
physical freedom. Now it's your
yeah,
turn.
freedom of movement, which I have that too. Well, so I go one, which is autonomy on personal decisions. So this is the ability to make your own choices, like choices in your own life, including career, relationships, lifestyle, and so on, so on, so on. Bear in mind, I live in England at the moment. You can't even say too much on social media.
Yeah.
To be honest, people getting arrested for just voicing their opinion. So it's a bit crazy right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
one
that would
big
all
one
fall
for me.
in. That would all fall in my mental freedom. So mine's like a big camp kind of thing. Although I do kind of have one little breakout, and maybe this is the one of mine that would be equivalent to that is spiritual freedom. And that's freedom in the sense, obviously to believe the things that you want to believe, but more than that, the mindset of being able to separate yourself from the material constraints of the world, and like freedom from holding grudges, and the ability to forgive people, and like just kind of that mental clarity of being able to be in the present without the baggage that comes along with it. So I kind of call that
Yeah,
spiritual freedom.
I need some of that, man. You gotta give me some more of that spiritual freedom. Do you know what? It's funny because I had that spiritual freedom a few years ago, but I don't know, something must have happened that I feel that I lost part of that. Because I feel for a while I chased certain things that were me, like material things, and I got it all wrong. And then I got rid of some of the material things, and then I just add the material things that I really like. And I thought, this is something that I dreamed as a kid and I want to have it. And, I can't have it right now, so I'm going to have it and enjoy it while I can. And if I ever have to part ways with this thing, I will, which is happening right now in my life. I think
Yeah.
you know a little bit about it. Um, so yeah, I'm going through some changes in my life, and yeah, I always been that kid that wanted the Porsche 911, and I had a few, and I had three at one point parked outside the house. From 1990 to one from 1996 to a more recent one,
I
and
didn't know you had 3 of
what?
them.
Yeah, at one point I had three. Uh, it's you saw them, the black one, the turquoise one, and now the white one. Yeah, so I had those three at the same time, and one of them I actually have to store it because it was a 1990 Cabrio, so it's a 964, and it was just such a financial burden when I look back, and I didn't realize it at the time. But yeah, so I ended up looking at everything, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I already enjoy that car. Why do I need to have it now? So I sold it to someone else that can enjoy it like I did. And then obviously I crashed it, which is not a
Yeah,
very
I
good
remember that
thing to
one.
do. Yeah, I crashed that one, which is it broke my heart because of my favorite one. Like that was the one that I wanted to keep. That was the one
Yeah.
that was like, I really want to keep this one, and if I can keep it, and when they pass it on to my daughter or my son, whoever, that was the only one, and I crashed it and totaled it. So it's a shame, but anyway, it's gone, and with the money from the insurance, I ended up selling the other one that I had and buying the one that I have now, which I am going to sell. I had fun with it, but I have other priorities in life, and yeah, I have to sell it and buy a house, and with my little
Good.
family and build
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Build it back
but
up.
yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's been
Nothing's
fun.
permanent. All
I
right.
think I
And then
lost track of what I wanted to say for a little bit, but anyway,
well,
there you go. You have my.
I've got one more category of freedom.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any
I
more?
think I did. Yeah. I mean, I have freedom of association, which is like uh, joining any groups like this, meaning from like organizations, communities, sports groups. Like you had your rowing club, I have my football club, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff. Uh, Fan groups of like bands and stuff like that. I, I find those, especially online forums, which for a long time I wasn't very keen on, I find those very nice now, because you end up finding out things. For example, Oasis came back together right now, and in the UK, they only doing a UK tour. And I mean, I found out a few months ago they were getting back together. There's been rumors and rumors and rumors, but I found out from being on this forum with some friends that work on TV. So in this group, actually, not a forum, sorry. And yeah, they were very certain, because they've been working on stuff with them behind the scenes. So they knew they were going to do this tour. And yeah, so I knew before most people that know now, which is pretty awesome. So those
Yeah.
things are very cool.
So my last one is financial freedom. Being able to
Yeah.
buy the things you want when you want. It's kind of like having the financial resources to do the things that you want to do with the people that you want to do. So it's like freedom from stress. I was thinking a little bit about it more philosophically, because it's like, on one hand, it was like, with financial freedom, you kind of have like this ability to not have to report to anyone. Like, you don't have to work for anyone. But I don't think that's
Mm.
really true, because you're always like, whether the money is in the investment market or in, physical gold and silver or cash, or there's always going to be like trade-offs in like the amount
Mm-hmm.
of freedom. And I think a false god is trying to get all the freedom. I don't think that's possible, right? Because if you want to be like totally free, you can't have relationships. Like you can't hang out. You
Yeah,
can't get
that
married.
is.
Like you can't, because like my wife wants something. Just today, like my wife is
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'm going for a run. Watch the kids." And it's like, well, okay, like the trade off is worth it. So it's like understanding what is the trade off of your freedom that enhances your life, rather than achieving this never ending goal of perfect freedom.
Yeah, which I think that's where I went wrong. Going back to all the stuff that I just talked about. Yeah, there is no perfect freedom, and there is no financial freedom ever. Doesn't matter how much money you got. I don't think there is financial freedom ever, because unfortunately you're always spending money somewhere in something. There's always. I mean, you're always working for someone. It doesn't matter what business you have. You have to sell your product, whatever
Yeah.
that might
To
be.
your
So
customers.
without someone else buying whatever you're selling, or whatever your business is, someone consuming it, you have no money. So I don't think there's any financial freedom. I think some people have a better financial situation than most, which allows them to be free in certain aspects of life, and with that freedom maybe create even more a better financial situation for themselves, and put them I don't know, more effort into other things in their life, like, I don't know, health, whatever that might be. I think that's what it is, but I don't think there is a total either financial freedom or any perfect freedom for anything, really.
Well, scarcity exists for everyone. So like there's limited time, there's limited resources. So it's like, I'm sure Elon Musk, if he had, $10 trillion, there's a lot bigger things that he would want to be doing than he can do
Mhm.
now. So it's just like, even at our scale, like if I 10x, the amount of savings that I had, that would allow me to do bigger, bigger things down in the future. But let's get into Beardbrand news, men's news. What's going on in the world? I'm excited about today because I'm back in Austin. So this is the utility trimmer, and it's flesh and blood. I'm excited
I'm
for
super I'm sad that I don't have one already, man. But yeah, I'm excited
Turn
to
it
get one.
on. And there's a lot of. I'm
Turn the
working
lights
on a
off.
project like this. Yeah, it was flickering again. I don't know why I need to get better gear, like you said. But
No, our joke is that so people could actually see how it glows really nicely. The buttons.
they glow in the
Yeah,
dark. So if you're trimming your beard in the dark, you'll be able
you
to
don't
see
need
the
to get
buttons
better
really
gear,
well.
man.
Yeah, like it's all like those. I don't want to be self-congratulatory because people all around the world are making tons of products. I don't have all the prototypes that we have in here, but there's just like small details where this piece is slightly different than this piece, and we've had to work with the manufacturer to really nail down this color because it was just coming out like we didn't want to do a bright white, like really like the cat. So if you can tell,
Mm.
I don't know if it comes across on the screen or not. The difference in these whites.
Yeah,
So
big. It's so I would say that's off white and that's white.
yeah. So this is like a warm white or an off white that I feel like just has a cooler feel to it than anything I've seen on the marketplace. So there's very few lightly colored trimmers, and if they're out there, they're like that blue, super bright white. And I think like having this, it kind of almost reminds me of like Kanye's aesthetic, where he tends to go with these like neutral sand tones, earth tones. Um, so that will be next Tuesday. I'm super stoked. Next Tuesday we're launching this. We need to hit 500 commitments. If we hit 500 commitments, then we'll place the order with the manufacturer and it'll be in time for Christmas. If we don't hit it, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed because I really want to see this product come to the marketplace, and
Me too.
I think it's super cool. I want to get a whole bunch and give it to my parents and my friends and stuff like that. Share it with everyone. So
Well, if we don't make it, yeah, it's definitely disappointed, and you have to
yeah,
give me that one, even though you've used it.
yeah. Mark's said bone white. I think that's probably a good color, like a bone white to it.
Yeah, bone white, off white. Off white is
Or-
more high end
Is it?
terminology. High end terminology. Bone white. Don't know. Never heard that before, but I like it.
I've heard it before. The other thing is, we have the new packaging. This is the first time we get to share it on the live stream. This is the new packaging for our styling piece, and then our utility balm is coming out really soon. So we're working on our listings. Should be, in theory, it should be up with a couple days. We have the brand new utility oil as well. This is both in Lumberyard and Pearl Snap. Pearl Snap is our new fragrance that has been getting rave reviews. People are loving it. Classic barbershop Americana fragrance. Smells great. And then this will be the final product. This is not available yet, but our sea salt spray and the Pearl Snap is in the works. We've had this produced. So we have those 4 products over on Amazon.com. If you've already bought it and are using it and you haven't reviewed it on Amazon, I would highly encourage you guys to head over to Amazon and give that review. And then I was going to also show, what these are. Did your fragrances were you ever able to smell them?
Not yet, but yeah. So I had an accident, and my fragrances spilled, so they are all dirty. So I have to clean it up. I needed my wife's help to do that, and she's not been home all day, and then she picked me up to go to the hospital. But yeah, go on.
This limited edition fragrance is a Texas inspired fragrance.
Okay, I know which one you mean now.
Yes. And to me, when I smell it, like I've been to the Chisos cowboy boot shop, like it reminds me a lot of that. Like
Me too. I've been there, so that's good. That's a good smell.
all that other, and then these are the ones that you don't like the name.
Yeah, I don't like the name, but I hope the fragrance is what I think it is. I haven't
Yeah.
smelled it yet, so I can't comment. But
So, well,
um,
this is Carlos's idea for a fragrance. I don't know. Why don't you
yeah.
tell our listeners kind of what you're trying to hit?
So I'm trying to hit like an Americana, foresty and landscapes. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away. I have to smell it
Okay.
before I give too
Well,
much away.
because these are
Obviously.
all like very different. These are all very different. Like
Yeah, there's
it's
a
not
lot
like
of
one fragrance with like slight variations.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice notes on this, and I have to smell it. And once I'm happy, we can talk about it next week. Yeah, I'll talk about it next week because then I'll smell it by then.
And
But
then
anyway, do you like any of those three variations?
so you know with the Texas one, I only liked one of them. With your version, I feel like I like them all, but in like kind of different ways.
Okay.
So it is more of like they are to me they are pleasing. One of these
Which
smells like
one?
one of them like just hits for me like childhood memories of like
Okay,
after
that's good.
Christmas. There's like burning of the pine. Like you shouldn't do it in a chimney, but
Okay.
we would burn the like the garland, and it just had this like crackling and this popping, and then just like that piney, smoky resinous. It, it brings back those memories. So, but I want to say when I smell that, I don't really think of like the Americana kind of.
I mean, it's more like for me it was like these rugged, powerful landscapes of the American wilderness, right? That's what I was trying to achieve. So that's what is in the description of the fragrance, and then all the notes are. I don't want to talk about the notes just yet. I want to smell, and then next week I can describe what I smell, or talk about what I smell.
The last thing
But
is
go on.
we got a new prototype here. I don't know. I hope you guys reply in the comments. I see the comments right now, but we're testing a activated charcoal utility bar. So I showered with that this morning. My hair. I used the utility bar in my hair this morning, so I'm looking pretty good. And this is Temple Smoke. You can't smell it, but it's gray now. So what do you guys think? Is activated charcoal something you guys want in a utility bar?
I like it.
Do you have any experience with that?
Well, activated charcoal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some
Brushing
Lush
your
stuff
teeth?
before. That, for example, not very common that for me. But yeah, there was a soap I think was Lush that had it that I tried a few years ago.
So let's get into today's topic. If you follow us at Beardbrand, we don't want to be political. This isn't a political. We're not going to be talking about politics, but I do think there are maybe political philosophy that we get into, and I think there's a difference. Like, so we're not going to be talking about candidates or bills or voting, but maybe more of like the general idea of what's going on.
Yeah,
So I
good.
was absolutely like Carlos. You might have missed this, but kick us out real quick, Marks, and bring us right back in. You can see the wallpaper, and all the viewers can see the wallpaper.
I saw the wallpaper.
Okay. Well, if anyone's tuned in now,
Yeah, I saw it. I quickly had a look at
there
the
we go. Yeah, that's
conversation.
cool. You can just close that out because the wallpaper shows up. But
La révolution. Anyway,
Yeah, so for those who didn't know, the founder of Telegram was arrested in France. Um, and to me, it is a grave injustice. It's equivalent to arresting in my opinion, arresting like the CEO of a pen tool, or arresting another foreign leader who allows crime to happen in their country. It's like someone who creates a software platform is not responsible for the content on there. Now, if they're on there like doing criminal things on their own platform, then get them for that. But simply creating a tool that allows people to communicate is not, in my opinion, something to go after. And what's crazy about it is, so this guy's apparently a billionaire, and the fact that a billionaire doesn't have freedom is a really interesting thing to me. Like how you can lose your freedom as someone who's built so much wealth in an ethical way, not in a fraudulent way. Um, I don't know. It's weird times out there.
I mean, France is in a weird situation right now. So there's weird times everywhere, like that UK.
Yeah. I mean, so,
I mean, yeah. Go on.
well, it gets me thinking. So, like, one thing that happened on my trip to Denmark and my trip back to Denmark is I don't get recognized very regularly out in public. I think Greg definitely gets recognized more than I do. You probably get recognized more than I do. And I got recognized 4 times on this trip. One time by someone at TSA, and 2 times by one time by a customs person in the Netherlands, and one time by a customs person in America. And it's like, am I on some kind of list? Like, should I be worried? Like, are they trying to tell me, like, they're watching me, watch what I'm saying? No more spicy takes on Twitter about freedom? Like,
No, dude, don't get that paranoid. It's not that. That's great.
I hung
The
out.
TSA guys, I think the TSA guys recognize you because I recognize every time I go to America, I get recognized. So I think it's Beardbrand is pretty well known, even though you don't think people would recognize. But I get recognized by TSA guys. It's like, oh, you that guy? Oh, that guy from Beardbrand. So yeah, I think that's just pure what it is,
Yeah.
coincidence,
Well,
or
they all had beards.
a guy that watched
So,
our videos or someone. Yeah, exactly. Or tattoos. I had this guy before, didn't even nothing about beards, was about the tattoos, but he had seen me on Beardbrand. It's like, you that guy from that beard company? I'm like, yeah, one of them. That was crazy. But yeah, he had no beard. He was like, yeah, he was just more interested in the tattoos, to be honest.
yeah. Greg said all the Secret Service knew who he was. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the other thing that kind of gets
That's
me paranoid is I had dinner with another entrepreneur who was telling me that the Mexican cartel would get in with the local airport, and they would place cameras in the airport and be able to identify individuals and use AI to find out if they had money or didn't have money. And then the cartels would like come after you in Mexico. And like, I don't know if for anyone who hasn't traveled recently, pretty much to board a plane, you no longer give a passport. You just like, they just take a picture of your face. Like a lot of times to get through in customs, they're just taking a picture of your face. When we went into France in February, that's how you got in. Like it was, they photographed your face, and it's like, to a certain degree, we're trading privacy for convenience. And I don't think anyone's ever asked, like, hey, just take a picture of my face and let me do whatever I want. But they're doing it. And like no
Mm.
one's objecting to it. And I don't like it's like Pandora's box, like the cat is out of the bag. You can't get it in. Like we are going to live in a society where there are going to be cameras everywhere and they can recognize who you are by facial recognition, and you're going to you have no privacy anymore. Like the NSA is going to know where you're at all times. Like it's just crazy to me. Apple with CarPlay is like selling your data when you plug into CarPlay, and it's just like I don't know, like how do like it seems like the way to deal with this is just to be ignorant, because like how do you even handle losing so much?
But,
Am I, or am I
look,
like am I the only one who thinks about this? Maybe.
I don't think so, no. But I think majority of us just go, you know what? It's what everyone wanted. Everyone thought this was going to be safer. This was going to be this. This was going to be that. You cannot like keep voting throughout your life for things to happen and then complain about it. That's why I never voted, and that's why I don't complain about it. I have never, ever, ever voted in my life to anything or any politics. So I lost my choice and I just live with it. So I play ignorant, like you just said. But yes, I think exactly like you. I have Alexa in the house. I'm well aware, not hair. I'm
Well,
well
you're
aware.
well hair too.
I'm well aware, of the situation. Did I buy it by choice? No, it's just different matter of choice. My wife wants this stuff. I didn't, but I gave in. It's so, and I suppose I play ignorant. Same with all the cameras everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. I got cameras everywhere. There's a lot of robberies going on around my area right now. So I have cameras everywhere surrounding the house because unfortunately, it kind of makes me feel safer. But I also know that data is going to be sold because Amazon owns LinkedIn. What's this
Ring.
called? Ring.
Yeah.
So it's just what it is, man. I can't really complain anymore, but I do think like you. So now I hand my passport in. Someone just takes a picture. I go and then what? What happens to that picture? It's
Yeah.
I don't know. We live in a world that everyone thought we were going to be safer. I think England started that crap, to be honest, with all this CCTV shit.
Yeah.
And then every country just followed suit. I mean, I
So
remember
let's talk
when
about let's not so much talk about what's happening, but let's talk about like what are the strategies. So your strategy is ignorance, which I think is
to a
a
certain
fair and
extent,
reasonable.
to a certain
Yeah,
extent,
I think
yes.
I think that's a fair thing. Like I've always kind of thought the strategy of like hiding in plain sight is generally a good thing. It's like, just be out there. Don't be like, another strategy is like, don't be publicly like fighting the system. Like, don't put a target on your back. Don't be doing the things that are going to make them want to watch it. And I feel like that's not philosophically, that's not a strategy that I want to do, because I think there's an important part for people who to stand up for the things they believe in, and you don't want to suppress those kind of people. But at the end of the day, it's like I've got a wife and two kids. Like I don't want to go on some kind of activist tour or whatever, trying to end all this
Uh,
invasions and
yeah.
end up in jail, or like, like being arrested at an airport. Like I want to be able to travel the world and enjoy different cultures, and so it's
That's
like,
it.
but I also want the world to be a better place. Like I want to make it better, and I want to have more freedom, and I want other people to have more freedom. Like, so it's
Yeah. You can't do that on your own. That's one. And the reality is this. Yeah. I think someone said in a comment, there's no such thing as privacy anymore. To an extent, there's no such thing as privacy. Everyone has a mobile phone, a computer, blah, 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 all these devices. And we've had them for years, and we kept evolving. Now we're just stuck in this circle that, there's no privacy whatsoever. Everything you do online is being registered. So if you want to have some privacy, you have to get rid of all of that. If you are a family man like yourself and myself, imagine getting rid of all your devices, everything, technology, and go and live
it's
in the
not like,
middle of the woods. Imagine that.
yeah.
Can you imagine yourself, right?
No, I've thought about it. Like, because I've thought about even just going to a dumb phone and not like, and then I'm like, man, Google Maps or Apple Maps is great. Like being able to like search for information is great. Like I'm glad that I grew up in a world where we had text phones, like, but at the same time, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not going back to a dumb phone. I like having a camera on my phone. It just makes life being able to capture,
easier.
the moments and yeah, and like uploading my workouts to my coach who's in, Oregon.
And that's the
So,
compromise.
or
It's
Washington.
that's the compromise. That's the compromise. Is it too much? Sure, it is too much what's happening right now. And there's no, in my opinion, the regulations of all of this that's happening, all the evolution of technology, it's not being applied properly. So we have been missed. What's the word in English? I won't say misled or missed. Yeah, maybe misled in a way. So people accepted everything. We just accept, play ignorant like me, if you like. I don't know. Yeah, we have been misled for so long that every evolution that we have in technology became the world that it is now. Because,
I think we haven't resisted is the other thing. So
no, some people have resisted. I just don't think there's been enough. And also,
yeah. Well, you see what they did to
some
Snowden,
people
right? So,
but some people resist to
and
certain things, but they want other things, which ends up being in the same category. So this is a tricky subject. It's like we could be talking about this forever and arguing about it. It's really, which I've had with other people, but yeah. Anyway,
well, let's
what
get
happened
into
in
the
where?
Q&A. What happened where?
You said
What
something
was
else.
Snowden? You're talking
Yeah.
about Snowden?
What
Yeah.
happened in Snowden?
I mean, he was a whistleblower for all the spying that U.S. government was doing on the people,
Oh, I thought you
and
meant
he's in Russia now.
Snowden, the mountain
Ju-
in Wales.
No, and then Julian Assange, who also kind of did the same thing, whistleblower on the government. But I want to get into the Q&A. So we got a question from Mia Horvat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Hello. Will you get back shipping to Europe, or where can I buy your stuff? So we have no immediate plans to send directly to Europe, but we do have several European customers who buy our products. They use a freight forwarding software called myus.com. So I'll put a link in here, myus.com. And that will be able to kind of get past the regulations of sending to Europe. Basically, you've got to ship. Basically, we ship it to Florida, and then they bundle things up and they ship it again to Europe. So, or not just Europe, but anywhere around the world that we don't use. And then, so you're going to be paying a little bit more, and it's going to be a little bit slower. But it is a way to get the hands on the products if maybe money is not as big of a concern for you.
Or come and see me. I usually just stand around the corner on the
Get some black
Over
market beard
street.
care from Carlos.
Yeah, I stand around the corner 9 p.m. every night, Over Street. Come and see me.
Otter
That would be
Lule.
amazing. Imagine times like that where you just, make money and just around the corner selling grooming products. That would be
Hey man, you
great.
need a little hit of this old money. Want some pearl snap? Got some pearl
Ooh,
snap.
I got
for
some limited edition. Hey, black sales here.
you. Ooh, black
Gotta
sales,
pay
man.
extra for that. Gotta pay extra for that.
Is that it? We don't got a lot of
Crazy.
questions
Anyway.
today. We got one question.
Let's see what we
Otter
got.
Loot. I agree. Life was good as a kid. I think and I don't know if like that's a nostalgia, going on in my life.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to have the childhood. So I'm 43 years old. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I just feel like, that was the golden era of Americana in the sense that we were just excited for the future. It was like everything was getting better, things were getting safer, internet was getting faster, technology was coming through, the stock market was, peaking in the early 2000s, and it was just like this, the government didn't seem to be doing all this crazy fucking shit. It was pre TSA, it was pre like Homeland Security. Like you could meet your grandparents at the gate at the airport. I remember I carried a pocket knife into the airport, like just went through the metal detector. It was just like, I don't know, it just felt like a higher trust society where it was nice.
Fear
And then like
wasn't fear wasn't what's the word? Installed in you. Fear wasn't just projected at you all the time.
yeah.
That's the difference. Because I grew up in the same era. It's just there was no fear like all the time people selling you fear things, fear of this, fear of that. There's this man is gonna do that, this man is gonna do that, or a knife or gun or just fear. We are fed so much fear nowadays. It's
I think we were
unbelievable.
able to disconnect too. So it was like the news was only on at 10 o'clock and like 6 o'clock. It wasn't on all day long. Not everyone had cable back then. And of course, no one had
True.
the internet. So you just had to go out and play and like be in the
Yeah.
world. I was thinking about like kind of when we were kids, there's a thing called crop circles. And they would report on crop circles. And it's just like, I remember that being a big deal in the 90s. They're like, are they UFOs? What is it? And it's like, why were they reporting on people like just putting circles around? And they had to know, but they must have had like nothing else to talk about. So it was just like, and then it was like a social contagion and a bunch of people started making crop circles. But all right, we got a couple more questions. P.S. Liskin, is the utility oil good for daily scalp application? I would say if you have dry scalp and dry hair, that the utility oil is going to be great. I have fine hair that is oily. So for me, putting a utility oil on my scalp or my hair is not something that I personally need. But you could probably get away with putting utility oil in your hair, Carlos, because you've got such thick.
I have
Right.
I have in the past, and so did Mike. Mike used to put a lot,
Mike uses
especially
it a
when he
bunch.
had long hair. Yeah, because long hair it gets dry quicker. So
Yeah.
if you put a lot of utility oil, it does help. Utility oil or even utility balm, it does help.
Yeah. Let's go up to Matthew Hancock's question, a couple questions above. Do you two think long hair and beard are too much for a man close to 60? I mean, really, if Greg is still in here, like Greg was rocking it at 60, super long hair and a big beard.
Yeah.
I do think there is the risk a lot of guys who get into their 60s are thinning. And if you're experiencing a significant amount of thinning, that maybe long hair is not the best option, but it also depends on where you're thinning. I think if you're thinning on your temples and not your crown, you could probably get away with longer hair. But if you're kind of have a diffuse thinning, it might be a little bit more challenging to grow hair. But dude, if you want to do something, do it. Like that's the whole point of this conversation is freedom. Is like if you want to grow long hair and grow long beard, do it. I mean, like you only live life once. If you don't like it, you can always cut it. So I would say absolutely do it. But again, I'm
and
biased.
and find out for yourself. Someone once told me, "Don't knock it until you try it." So, yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah. So apparently he's rocking long hair. He said his hair was longer than Greg's. So yeah, man, I think it's cool. I'm always a big fan of dichotomy. So presenting something that's not expected. Like when you get like Rick Rubin, I think is a perfect example. Like a guy who's all into like style and taste, and then he has like long balding hair and like a big ass beard. It exudes this kind of like quiet confidence and being able to just kind of rock your own style that is not what anyone else will do. So that's cool. Any more else, or should we wrap it up? We're long today, an hour 13 minutes. I guess we can blame it on you being late, breaking your arm.
I was about to say I was late, so we're making up time. Is there any questions? Any more questions? Any more questions?
Freedom. Well, freedom's a big thing for me. If you like freedom, if you're drawn to freedom, follow me on X at Bandholtz. I tend to go on a little bit more like freedom tirades on X.
Don't follow him. Don't follow him.
Don't follow me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of my. The thing is, like, I love grooming, but I think like freedom was a passion before grooming for me, and like Beardbrand is an extension of that. Like being able to live the life of my own choosing and work on the things that I like to work on and be around the people that I want to be around and create the kind of content I want to create. So, Boogie Man, you might have just missed it. If you want to get your products in Italy, you go to myus.com. That's the way to get Beardbrand products into Europe before we launch. But it is on our roadmap to sell directly to Europe. But there's a lot of things that we need to do operationally first to get there, and we're not close to those things. So it's not going to be anytime soon. I don't want to make any promises.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Europe. It's pretty messed up, so it's challenging from the other side of the world to bring the products over to this side. Let's put it that way. Which it's a shame because I live here and I want to have the products here for everyone else too. But yeah, unfortunately, we live in a messed up part of the world right now.
Lumberyard, the question from Liskin is Lumberyard is the fragrance that you'll want to go with. It's cedarwood and sandalwood are the two primary notes. So it's a real woodsy. If you know what Home Depot smells like in the wood aisle, it is more like that. So very heavy on the cedar, but it does have some sandalwood in there. And then I don't know from there, like Temple Smoke maybe might be kind of the vibe of a sandalwood, more of a vibe of sandalwood than actually a sandalwood fragrance. Let's wrap it up, huh?
that was painful doing that.
Are we going to get
Can't
it?
do that. Yeah.
There we go.
I'm not gonna do that. Why it's not doing it, man? It's driving me mad. Why is this stop doing it?
Another one in the books. Cheers and keep on growing.
Why is mine stop doing these things?